conducting regular webinars since last 1,323 days. And we have 3 sessions in a row. That is 7 to 8, we have our Hindi session. 8 to 9, we have our English session, that is international session. And 9 to 10, a local language session in Malayalam. So all these things really do a lot of good for the promotion of homeopathy among public as well as doctors, and that really connect that really enable us to connect between the doctors among the world. And today we have our Vice President, Dr. SHAJI VARGHESE, as the guest of the day, and Doctor will be presenting a session on as you all know that this is a very important subject, that is relevance of homeopathy in post-COVID world. As you all know that COVID has produced a lot of differences among people, and there are a lot of things that really made people to think about the future of homeopathy. And there were a time when homeopathy was not allowed to practice during COVID time in some part of the world and some part of India also. But at last we got the permission to practice as well as give prophylactic for this COVID-like disease. Anyway, let us invite the button and our Vice President, Dr. SHAJI VARGHESE, to this session. So the doctor is here. We proudly welcome you to take the next 45 minutes. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Danesh. It is very nice to have with you to discuss one of the most important topic of the future of homeopathy, because the COVID-19 that we just faced now is going to make big changes in our lives of the entire humanity in the world. It's already started. So how we play our roles this time will decide the future of the world. So COVID has taught us a lot of lessons. How the world is run, how the world is manipulated, and what is going to happen. We have a lot of new understanding which were hidden from us in the past era or pre-COVID era. So it is time for us to realize and come out with the new understanding how we will govern, allowed to govern the future and take leadership in collecting mankind, awakening mankind, so that the ignorant majority will be understanding what is really happening and get awakened, so that we can collectively make our future. So I will share my screen. Okay, so what is happening in the world? As I started with, there is a lot of exploitation of humanity by certain group of people who control the world is happening in the world. So far, majority of people are unaware about it. Now we started becoming aware about it. So these people who used to control the world by taking control of the leaders of the world, of different nations, start realizing that if they can control and monitor each and every citizens and human beings in the world, then only their enemies can be identified and they can keep the power in their hands. So initially, when some people talked about depopulation agenda, it is very irrational and illogical for me. Why these people gain something by killing fellow human beings? Then later on, I realized the need for that. Those who control the world can keep the power only if they control the world. And to control the world, they need now the entire population at guard to check who is their enemy. People like Osama bin Laden start attacking them, and they have no face, no country. They are attacking from anywhere in the world. Monitoring each citizen, each human being become a need for them. That is the reason for developing an idea of depopulation or reducing the number of people in the world to their monitoring capacity. For that, they made so many plans and they are implementing it to kill, and the remaining population will be converted into part of their fourth industrial revolution. So they will be technologically hacked to work as machines. That is what they named as fourth industrial revolution. So that is the present scenario by which they put a pandemic in the name of COVID-19, whose test kit patent even was taken in 2015. But we were all unaware about it. They were able to succeed in their planning so far. But at the same time, their plans were leaked out. So we people started becoming aware about it. And that is a further threat to them. So I bring to your attention some other things happened long back. The same people in 1910, when homeopathy was well established in America, employed Abraham Flexner, a high school teacher, to produce a one-man committee report in the name of Flexner, Abraham Flexner, who produced a report under the um, uh, guidance or under the watch of Carnegie Foundation and Rockefeller Foundation. These people are still in control of the world. And the Flexner report modified the law in America, stating they standardized the curriculum. That was okay, fine. At the same time, in the same report, they added biochemical medicine should be the scientific medicine. That happened in 1910, and they implemented through their money, might, and influence among the politicians in America, by which they were able to close all the institutions, university courses where MD course for homeopathy was offered, and big hospitals were running. 5,000 bedded, 3,000 bedded hospitals were running. And we know that many of our great masters like Kent were all living and practicing in such a gigantic manner. We can understand that all got closed with the outcome of this one report called Flexner Report. Thereafter, First World War and Second World War happened, by which the same people got total control of the world, their dominance. They put the United Nations and the World Health Organizations, which is seemingly to unify humanity and help humanity to survive and further, under their control. So it happened, it is going on. But what is happening today is exploitation in the name of power, hunger for power, where negligence of humanity is happening. So before we were fighting for freedom of nations, now it is time already to fight a freedom for the entire humanity. So these people are now planning to have a one world government controlled by them. And what they call as conspiracy theories, they are bringing out health as a prime module for them to get the power from the humanity, from everyone, every nations. So they are using WHO, World Health Organization. Through WHO, they are bringing an international pandemic treaty to help in the name of helping humanity during pandemics. Pandemics were once in centuries happened before. But now two pandemics already, COVID-19 and monkeypox. Now they are predicting. I don't know who gave them, how they get the wisdom to predict like that. Now they are predicting the coming of further pandemics. And they are telling us to be prepared. And they are creating panic, stating that the next pandemic will be a total killer. They will kill human beings like anything. How they got to know before, even before the coming of pandemic, they can declare such a kind of threatening information, frightening human beings. It all means some agenda is coming and we need to be aware about it. And there is a great awakening of humanity needed now. And COVID should become an awakening situation or awakening point by which we need to grasp what is happening. And the post-COVID era should not become a plain pass for them. They can achieve anything. Just keep us frightened and obedient in the way it happened during COVID-19. So they are creating health issues, declaring pandemics, and they bring international pandemic treaty where everybody are forced to sign. This May 31 is declared as the deadline to agree to their demands. Otherwise, more wars will be expected. They will create wars to destroy, or they will create a struggle for the leaders of different government who disagree with them. So to control and create a unilateral government to govern humanity with the slogan that you own nothing and be happy. Before they used to make slavery by putting chains in necks around. Now they are going to or planning to use technology for that. So we need to achieve our freedom and we need to fight to live peacefully, happily and healthily. And for that, we need to work consciously for that.
Sorry, Dr. Shaji, it's just you have to change the slides, please.
Yeah. I'm coming.
Thank
I'm changing. I'm changed already because I was talking about the previous slides so far. I have only few slides, so I was talking about the same slide only. So this is the third slide. So now I coming to the role of homeopathy doctors in the world in such a scenario. So I'm just bringing some pre-COVID era scientific perspective so that to understand why homeopathy like this, why homeopathy is only allowed as a post-medical super speciality only in majority countries across the world. These are all tactics to keep homeopathy in a subservient mode, to keep it in the lower level so that its prominence and its utility will not happen to the people around the world. Someone very open cultures like India are the only places where we can enjoy homeopathy to the fullest extent. And that is also now in question mark. So they made a few big changes in the world. Before, philosophy and science were synonyms. And then they made experimental science as science. And they brought forward linear or material science as the mainstream science. And only scientific will be allowed to occupy and happen in the world. So they developed linear science or material science as the mainstream science. Now it is a norm in the world that these science and its methodologies under these scientific principles only will be allowed for everything. Linear or material science is useful in technological development, but it is not applicable for studying a living organism. In linear or material science, 1 + 1 is 2. But if you look into living organisms, no two living organisms are similar like a human beings. No two human beings are not similar. Lot of variations. That's the reason why they conducted the genome study. And I talked to one of the principal directors of genome, Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he told me he detached from that group because that scientific research actually is not in favor of those who control the world, because the genome study revealed that individualization should be the norm of medical researches. But the RCTs, the randomized controlled studies and the scientific researches they are conducting today are based on linear science. That is to sell a medicine into the name of a disease diagnosis to the entire humanity. For one medicine for fever, that will suppress the fever but not cure the fever. Or it's a fundamental reasons why we develop the cure, the fever. So it is a deception and cheating happening in the name of medical research and medical treatment in the world today. But people are somehow satisfied because they are not aware about the other side of the story. So they are satisfied. When you take a paracetamol, your fever is immediately suppressed. The complications will develop, but that they will name as another disease. Like they vaccinated people now and people fainting and dying. So they brought out another name, sudden adult death syndrome. Now we know that many of us, the first vaccine given in our hospitals after birth is BCG vaccine. And many are getting tuberculosis and they named with another name called primary complex. This is happening. So these are the ways they control, manipulate, and deviate and deceive us through manipulation. And nobody is taking or noticing these things or taking a leadership in the world to counter this. And they will not allow anybody to exist in countering them also. So why linear science fail in medical researches? Because we know that today's medical researches are happening in our laboratories with the in vivo and in vitro studies and in animal studies like that. The physiology and physical makeup of an animal and human beings are entirely different. And in vitro and in vivo studies never incorporate the role of the mental, emotional influence in the functioning of that proving. So all these are very important. So that is why there is no solution for so many diseases. But they don't allow any other system of research to come out, or they don't involve in that, because their financial benefit, investment return is their primary goal. And systems of medicine like homeopathy is its fundamental principles and its fundamental scientific way of functioning. All these things are not known to them or advantageous to them. They are promoting Ayurveda even deceptively, because Ayurvedic medicine has many ingredients which they are identifying and taking patent for that ingredients and conducting clinical researches and selling us their medicine. But in potentized to homeopathic medicine, there is no identifiable ingredient. That is a big reason why they are totally against homeopathy. So a great awakening is needed in post-COVID era. So COVID is the beginning of that awakening. So until COVID, every pandemic was declared based on death rate. Starting COVID, they brought out a test called RT-PCR, which is to identify a virus only. And they started testing. And this virus is available everywhere. Air is full of viruses. When we inhale, it will go to our nasal orifices and take a swab from the nasal orifice, and making the RT-PCR test positive is no wonder. If it is negative, then only it is a wonder. So such a fake test they used to create test positivity rates to declare a pandemic. Now nobody is testing, so no pandemic. So they create a pandemic and bring out a test tool, and based on the test, they may declare pandemics again. And also, mRNA technology as vaccines never happened in the history of medicine. It is a new technology. And this technology now, through this COVID panic they created, they are mandatorily applying all over the world to every citizen in multiple forceful ways. We all know that. Even before accepting or completely proving based on their own norms as a vaccine. They call it as a vaccine. So it is our duty to recognize and make our fellow human beings understand in the loudest voice possible for us. And I have multiple times shown to you all the books called the COVID-19, the Great Reset and the Fourth Industrial Revolution, both written by the founder and executive chairman of World Economic Forum, who is in charge of these implementation of these new reset and one world government agenda. So depopulation and hacking of human beings are the post-COVID possibilities and concerns that we need to look into very seriously. Now they call it and laugh at those who are speaking about it as conspiracy theories. But I don't think it is a conspiracy theory. This conspiracy is soon going to become a reality. If you don't recognize it now and act wisely, no more time remaining for us. So there are a lot of post-COVID scientific transformations required. In the medical research studies, the transformation from linear or material science to non-linear or holistic science is very essential. Because technology, if you make 100 machines, all function in the same manner. But the 10 human beings, none of them will be functioning in the same manner. A lot of changes are there. because there is energy inside every living organism that is independently function. For the 100 machines we prepared, we need to provide energy for that. So living organisms should be governed by non-linear science, not by linear science. 100 machines can work uniformly, perform similar activities, can repeat the same activity multiple times. But if you give same activity 10 times to same human being, they will be doing it in 10 ways in each time. Or if you give same activity to 10 human beings, they will be also doing it 10 different ways, not in the same manner. That is what is called non-linear science. The science that governs the individualistic differentiation and uniqueness can be studied only through non-linear studies. That's why for holistic systems of medicine, the research studies should not be conducted under RCTs, randomized control studies. That is the study for linear science-based research methodology. So non-linear science methodologies, there's need for individuals' case studies. So systems of medicine, holistic systems of medicines like homeopathy should be under case study series, not under RCTs. But they are insisting we also should conduct RCTs only, then only they will accept. They are nobody to give certificate to anybody. We also have wisdom, knowledge. We all understand homeopathy is working. That's a need. That is why we all got united in this platform to help it further and progress by promoting it. So when they insist RCTs as the basis for homeopathic researches, its potential in individualization capacity will be lessened. It's become easily less important comparatively with allopathic medicine. They are cheating, deceiving by suppressing symptoms only. And individualization should be the key for future medical researches and even solutions, treatments, that we are already in that path. And that should become the mainstream principled scientific approach in giving solutions to human maladies. And transformation of holistic systems of medicine like homeopathy as the mainstream medicine, and the current conventional medicine has to become as a complementary medicine. We need every system of medicine. They are telling we are not in need of homeopathy like that. They are trying to suppress it and eliminate it by lawmaking, by various crooked ways. But honestly, we need every system of medicine. We need the allopathic system of medicine also during crisis times to overcome crisis. No doubt in that. Nobody can deny that. But when a disease comes, we should focus with the medicines without side effects first, and more of a natural and holistic systems of medicine first. And if such a systems also has difficulties to find the right simillimum or right medicine, because individualization and finding patient-specific medicines are not easy task. So there is chances for failure in understanding the patient, in understanding the simillimum or finding the right solution holistically. All these are challenges. If somehow the disease progress and a crisis arise, we need allopathic system also to overcome crisis whenever needed as a complementary medicine. So the relevance of homeopathy in post-COVID era. So the most important advantage of homeopathy is it is holistic science-based. Individualized treatment is available with the homeopathy. And more than anything, the most important uniqueness of homeopathy is its ability to influence the dynamic components of our existence, most importantly, our vital force that control that communicate with the mind and the physical plane, whereby both sides can be corrected, influenced through energy level functioning homeopathic medicine, which is directly able to act at the vital force, which we all understand. The present science is not able to explain it in a scientific manner because they are limiting their researches and understanding only to the physical plane. They themselves are not competent to even understand, or their principles cannot be applied to a holistic science-based medical system. And that is the reason. So there is need for furtherance of science, from linear to non-linear, from material to holistic science. And we can expect there will be a lot of big research possibilities in front of us in holistic scientific developments. The entire scientific developments happened in last 5,000 years become nothing in front of the research and development possibilities going to happen in the next 50 to 100 years. Huge possibilities are there because big transformations are going to happen, but we need to work for it. And another big advantage of homeopathy is that it has prevention, treatment, and rehabilitation possibilities among viral and bacterial infections, whereas the present dominant system has no such possibilities against viral infections. And homeopathy can achieve it by optimizing our innate immunity, which no other system can do. So when our innate immunity is optimized, we are protected at that time, at that moment, from anything inimical to our system. And that is the greatest advantage. When you look into proof in the physical plane, it may not appear. But we need to further look and see in the energy plane to prove that to the world. And that is how, when we use arsenic album, which we all know that is very important against fear and panic situations, and the most important depreciation of our immune system happened due to the panic and crisis they created among the minds of the people around the world through wrong propaganda. So our arsenic album worked very well. In a similar manner, different possibilities are coming in front of us in future. There will be a lot of wars, more war possibilities, whereby a lot of famines can come, fear of another nature can come, scarcities of food, water, and so many things can come. We do not know the new technology of warfare. There are different sayings. There is scarcity of air, there is scarcity of water, there is scarcity of electricity. So many things are tools for war now. So we do not know which kind of war we are going to face in the future. So among all these, we homeopathic doctors and homeopathy system of medicine has a lot of advantages to face the challenges we may face in the coming years. So also there is a greater new dimensional research and development possibilities in holistic research perspective, which I mentioned in the nonlinear science earlier. And also we have the ability to rectify side effects or complications of COVID vaccine. That is an important challenge the humanity faces now. Lot of percentage of people living on earth today are vaccinated by deception and cheating with unknown ingredients of unproven substances. And we can see lot of people are just fainting and dying. Physically fit people are just fainting and dying. So homeopathy has the potential to rectify, and that we need to tell the world and make available and make known to the world through our efforts. So huge efforts are in front of us. And also we have the ability to the most incurable types of diseases for the so-called allopathic system of medicine, like autoimmune diseases, lifestyle disorders, and other non-communicable disease for which they even do not know from where it comes from. Because what is happening in the world today, in the name of education, modernization, they are changing the philosophy of our thoughts, the concept and attitude of our thought process, where which we were taught wrong, unnatural, unhealthy philosophies and concept and attitudes. By keeping such a concept and attitudes and philosophies in our mind, and the wrong thoughts are developing, that is guiding and directing our lives in wrong directions, creating diseases, destabilizing our families, our individual lives. Total deformatting is happening in the world, as we can see. When I was a child, when I was living in schools, there is no cancer, there is no breaking of families. Now, a lot of new philosophies they introduce. I can name a few which are controversial, like gender equality. Now they are coming with gender neutrality. All can be simply understood as unscientific based on the simple science we studied from high school only. Men and women are different. Genetically, physically, physiologically, biologically, and psychologically. Such a difference should be understood and maintained in our personal thought process, in our life situations, etc. Then only we will be able to live normally, healthily, harmoniously, happily, by fulfilling our life's natural missions and responsibilities. And that is the reason why many among us are unable to fulfill our natural functions even normally. Even the high-tech hospitals are not sufficient to give birth to a human being now. There are abortions happening, ectopic pregnancies happening, lot of cancers happening, autism happens, transgenders are developing. These were very few or minimal earlier, negligible percentage only. Now it become very evident and visible in our awareness everyday life. I am speaking to you from Philippines now. I used to be the consultant of Philippine Cancer Society. When I was taken as a consultant of Philippine Cancer Society long back, the president of Philippine Cancer Society was a lady called Dr. Mita Pardutita Vera, who used to be one among the first ladies who enjoyed the freedom to study medicine in her time. During her studies, there was no cancer at all in any medical colleges. But now if you go to Philippine General Hospital, you will see hundreds of cancer patients in one day. Huge change. All these are happening because of wrong philosophy implementation by lawmaking, wrong and unhealthy philosophy taught in our curriculum in our schools among our new generation students. Lot of films, movies, and media, serials, and so many things are produced where they communicate and educate and bring to our awareness unnatural, unhealthy philosophies and way of thinking and living. And our subconscious mind automatically absorbed it, and we become familiar with that, and we forced to unknowingly adapt into that also. And also, in post-COVID era, homeopathy has the advantage of economical, ecological, and natural medicine in enhancing as an advantage in the post-COVID era. So all these are great possibilities for homeopathy to exist. So the transformation needs of homeopathy in post-COVID era. Modernization of homeopathic education, as I mentioned in the beginning of this presentation, is an important thing that we need to make it happen around the world to produce independent homeopathic doctors, as happening in India, as an example. That is the reason why homeopathy was able to progress under the leadership of homeopathy doctors to a mainstream independent system of medicine in India. Because there is a separate homeopathic medical college where homeopathy subjects along with all other medical subjects were taught, and independent homeopathic doctors as a career can be produced, whereby the number of homeopathy doctors will not be limited. But other than in few countries in Asia, in almost every other country in the world, either there is no homeopathic education or only post-medical doctors are given opportunity to study homeopathy only as a specialization. And that is a big disadvantage for the progress of homeopathy, because the number of homeopathy doctors will remain always minimal. So this scenario we need to modify. We need to produce credible and competent homeopathy doctors. So all the medical subjects should be studied along with the homeopathic subjects, and such a courses should be offered to fresh pre-med graduates who are willing to study this system of medicine. But let the present scenario continue for the meantime to popularize this medicine, along with the certificate or diploma holders courses also. Not in India, but other countries where there is no independent educational possibilities for homeopathy, to begin with, to popularize the effectiveness. And I request all those who listen to me now in this live program also going to watch this video of this program in YouTube. This webinar in YouTube, to start telling ordinary people to study homeopathy for their self-help in the beginning, for them to learn and understand the potentials of homeopathy in the minimal level, so that they will look for major problems also with the homeopathy doctors when it comes. So the modernization of homeopathic education is a great transformation that need to happen in the post-COVID era, that we should become aware about it. Then only we can make it happen. And the second most important thing is the emergence of non-linear science-based research and development activities as a gold standard for medical research in general and homeopathy in particular. I already explained about it. And emergence of homeopathy from alternative and complementary medicine to the mainstream medicine level. So my request is, let us dream, 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 and work, work, work to make homeopathy the most important tool to help humanity and to bring homeopathy as the #1 medicine in post-COVID era. Thank you very much.
Yes, it was really a very good session. You covered almost everything about the scenario. Wow, that is a pre-COVID scenario during COVID and post-COVID scenario. What are the things to be done? What are the things not to be done? And how all these things were developed, and how what was the idea behind promoting such things during COVID time, or what is the purpose of promoting this kind of pandemics. Anyway, let us go for discussion. Those who want to participate in discussion can raise your hand or open your video so that we will allow you to have a chat with Dr. Shaji KUDIYAT, the Vice President of IFPH. A remark, yes, Dr. Marian, you can begin the session. I hope Dr. CJ Varghese is there. Dr. CJ will also come out and come speak for some time. Please unmute.
Thank you, Dr. Ganesh. Good evening to all. Thank you, Dr. Shaji KUDIYAT. Amazing session. I didn't realize of all that kind of very important details. Just when I hear you with all the support that you show us, it's very important to keep working as a team. So thanks, Dr. Ganesh, for this opportunity to help to my friends from America. Today we have a lot of friends from America, so I will welcome them in Spanish, and then I can translate to speak with Dr. Shaji.
Yes.
Bienvenidos a todos desde América, bienvenida Grace, bienvenido Sergio, bienvenido Dr. Carlos Manuel de Costa Rica y Ana Silvia Soto desde México. Muchas gracias por unirse. Es el momento en el que, por favor, les vamos a pedir si pueden abrir las cámaras, si quieren participar y tener una conversación con el doctor Shaji KUDIYAT en relación a alguna duda que tengan, alguna observación que hayan hecho ustedes en sus países, pues yo les puedo traducir con el mayor gusto y el mayor placer. Atilio también se nos une desde el Ecuador. Bienvenido, gracias por unirse.
Decirle al doctor
Dale, Grace.
Perdón.
Sí.
Decirle a los doctores que me has traducido, me ibas traduciendo en español lo que estaba diciendo el doctor, que te lo agradezco muchísimo, y la verdad que está dando un estado de alerta, ¿no? O sea, nos está poniendo en otra posición. Y le agradezco sobre todo que él haya dicho todos los seres vivientes. De esa manera nos incluye a los veterinarios.
Please translate, Dr. Marian.
Of course. So today we have colleagues from Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Costa Rica, and Ecuador. And we were in a group of chat, and I was sending voice messages, just translating Dr. Shaji, just to understand all the people in America. So it's my pleasure. And Dr. Grace now is telling you that thank you very much for bringing the awareness to these very important topics. And she appreciates a lot that you speak about living systems, not just human systems or human lives. So she felt included in your conference, in your explanation. So thank you very much.
Definitely 100%.
Dr. Sergey Costello. And Dr.
Atilio is raising the hand. Gracias, Grace. 100%, absolutamente, estás incluida siempre. Atilio, adelante. she needs to unmute, is Dr. Atilio Vera. Y ahora sí estás.
Bueno, buen día desde acá de Buenos Aires, Argentina. Quería agradecerle al doctor SHAJI, ¿no?, por su generosidad y por transmitirnos y expandir sus conocimientos. Así que quería agradecerle y esperemos próximamente conocerlo personalmente, que nos pueda visitar acá a la Argentina, acá a Sudamérica. Quería que le pregunte si alguna vez vino a Buenos Aires o a la Argentina, si vino alguna vez, y bueno, sería un honor contar con su presencia, contar con algún curso, algún taller que nos pueda brindar para seguir creciendo, aprendiendo y ¿cómo es? Nos atrevemos a saber. El SAPE auge. Gracias.
Gracias, Atilio. So thank you very much, Dr. Shaji. It's a great pleasure to hear you. You are always sharing with generosity all your experience and all your knowledge. So you are warmly invited to visit us in South America. And I would like to know if you have been in Argentina sometime. And if you would like to come here, because we need you here, and it will be very important for us to learn with you and to have to learn from you different skills to improve our homeopathic practice, just to continue the auto sapere, as Dr. Hellman says.
Okay, thank you. Now I invite Dr. Rajeshwari Rapte to make her statement here.
Just a minute. Just 1 second, Dr. Rajeshwari. Just 1 second. I will just reply. I am not yet in Argentina so far, but I have been in Brazil for a few years ago, and I wish to visit South America. I definitely looking forward to come to Argentina. That is one of my favorite countries. Because Argentinian team after Diego Maradona is our favorite team. So thank you for that invitation. I will look forward to come over there in future. Thank you.
I will be very, very short interview. Thank you, Dr. Danesh. Sorry. Atilio dice que no ha estado en Argentina, sin embargo es uno de sus países favoritos porque Diego Maradona ha nacido allí y que espera pronto estar allá. Él conoce y ha estado en Sao Paulo hace algunos años y espera pronto poder visitarnos y estar en Argentina.
Okay.
María, decirle tanto para Atilio que andás ahí, que a mí me gustaría en algún momento ver un coloquio entre los dos, ya del tema del cáncer, la holística, la parte holística de las personas cancerosas, ya que los dos tienen, por supuesto, el doctor Shaji, que hizo la clínica, pero que también tiene mucha experiencia Atilio. Así que me encantaría ver ese coloquio.
So Dr. Atilio now is working with oncology patients and he has a lot of experience in treatment. So Dr. Grace is saying that it would be very nice if they both can organize some conference for us. It will be a pleasure to see them both in a same conference.
Sure, we can think of that.
Okay.
I wish to hear from Dr. Rajeshwari also. She is a very important research specialist in homeopathy, and I wish to listen to her also. Please, Dr. Danesh, definitely we need to listen to Dr.
Yes, she's the former principal of Homeopathic Medical College.
Yeah, I know that. Please, Dr. Rajeshwari. Dr. Atilio, just a minute. Dr. Rajeshwari, please.
Yes, sir. Dr. SHAJI KUDIYAT, your webinar was very, very valuable information you have given, especially the Flexor report, which I didn't know. And just I went through the internet and I saw that incredible, that's how the different alternative systems of medicines, the holistic system fell off in the America because of that Flexor report. And God forbid it should not happen in India, where homeopathy is flourishing, and government is also supporting us by forming the Ayush ministry. So it was really, you threw light on the Flexner's report. We all should be careful that such things should not happen in India. Of course, scrutiny of medical education is very important. The health education is important. Medical education is important, but things such as flexner report, which was like something a conspiracy which happened and to make the beginning of the pharmaceutical takeover in US. So when it directly goes into the hands of pharmaceutical industry, then doctors can't do anything, even to save the humanity. So the prime job of doctors should be directly concerned with humanity, and then the pharmacy should be in the hand of the doctors, not vice versa. Thank you so much for the webinar and such good information, sir. Looking forward for more such.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice hearing. I was eagerly waiting to know what you will be saying because I listened to your presentation last day. So you are very much involved in research and development activities where I wish to contribute also for particularly for homeopathic kind of research. So we are looking, I am personally looking forward to more collaborations and unified activities with you too, ma'am. So looking forward to see you. Dr. Atilio wish to ask something more or anybody else, please.
Yes, as the time is about to already finish, we have to close the session. So I invite Dr. Adila to say a few words, and then Dr. Marian Sarshada will say the vote of thanks to the session also. Tomorrow we will have a session from Dr. Srinivasan. He will be talking about the nurse repertory and fuels. Yes, yes, Dr. Atilio, you can speak. No,
Lo veo.
Atilio, ¿puedes dar tus últimas palabras?
yes, he's not there. You can.
No
No,
está.
Thanks, madam.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Danesh. Thank you, Dr. Shaji. Always is a pleasure to hear you. Thanks for bringing our awareness to these kind of topics that are very important for all the humanity. So please, as you tell in the last slide, dream, 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 work, 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 and keep working together in IFPH team. Thanks to all IFPH team for make it possible. This platform is the best and the unique in all the world. So thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Dr. Mariam, Dr. Shaji Kudiyat, and those who participate in the session, as well as those who participate in the discussion also. With that, we come to the end of the day 1324. Tomorrow we can meet at the same time. Goodbye. Good night. It's over to Dr. Shaila to moderate the Malayalam session.